and welcome back to Arno TV. I'm your Liverpool host Arno, coming back to you with another video. Now, what I want to talk about in this video, I've just watched something again on talk radio. Okay, so again, talk radio showing that they're one of the few broadcasters out there that are quite prepared to question things and question things that don't add up. Okay, and I'm going to post the link in the description to this interview, and I suggest everybody goes and watches it. Okay, now this is on the Ian Collins show. Ian Collins is interviewing Dr Mike Yeadon. Okay, and in case anybody wonders who Dr Mike Yeadon is, he's a former advisor, scientific advisor should I say, to Pfizer. Okay, so he's not a crackpot, he's not a lunatic, he's an expert. Okay, now again, I want to make this absolutely clear. It's not me that's saying this. Dr Mike Yeadon, the former advisor to Pfizer, is saying that 50% of people in the UK were immune to the coronavirus by June of this year. Okay, and what he's also saying is there's a huge problem with the testing. Okay, what he's calling it is a pandemic of false PCR tests. Okay, this is what Mike Yeadon is saying. Okay, now if you remember, I did a video the other day about the army force testing children in schools. Well, the army have been in Liverpool since last week, okay? And the army have carried out 90,000 tests. 90,000 tests just from the army, okay? Now, what they've not told you is the army are using a different kind of test. They're not using the PCR test. They're using something called a lateral flow test. Now, we'll get into the differences of the tests in a moment, okay? But what the army have discovered, and according to Mike Yeadon, that the latest results, according to Dr Mike Yeadon, not me, the former advisor the former scientific advisor to Pfizer, is saying that when the results have come back, there's little or no coronavirus. Okay, he's saying about 0.4% has come back on the tests. Okay, and this is of a total of 120,000 tests. Okay, with this lateral flow test. So 90,000 has been done by the army, and the remainder has been done by the other health authorities. Okay, and they have got 0.4% of people testing positive. Now, what this shows straight away is there's a problem with one of the tests. Okay, there's a big problem here. Okay, now the next part of this phase of this new lateral test, okay, before we go into that, I'm just going to explain the difference between the tests, okay, because I've had this discussion with friends and family about this PCR test. Okay, now what the PCR test is, for anybody that doesn't know, what they do is they take a sample from someone and they amplify the sample many times. Okay, and what they're looking for in your sample is RNA that they say is associated with the virus. Okay, now the difference between that and the lateral flow test is the lateral flow test is searching for a protein that's on the outside of the virus. So it works according to Mike Yeadon, Dr Mike Yeadon, the former scientific advisor to Pfizer, not a crackpot. It works apparently, according to him, rather like a pregnancy test. Okay. Now, the next part of this phase, or with this new lateral flow test, is to put it into hospitals. Now, one of Mike Yeadon's colleagues, another doctor, not a crackpot, another doctor called Claire Craig, is suggested that, because what they want to do with this testing of the lateral flow is test on the hospital staff. And what she's saying is, why, as well as doing that, why don't you test on the patients that have been, tested for that have had a PCR test and tested positive? Okay, but they don't want to do that. Okay, but this shows, according to Mike Yeadon, that there's a major problem with one of the tests because there's huge differences in results. Now, according to what Dr Mike Yeadon said, again, not me, Dr Mike Yeadon, you know, the former scientific advisor to Pfizer, that I'm going to post the interview in the link in the description. What he said is, according to the ONS statistics, which, by the way, might I add, are based on the predictions based on PCR tests about this hotspot in the northeast, this lateral flow test is showing that the PCR predictions that the ONS have put out are 5 to 10% higher than what the lateral flow test is showing. Okay? So this should demonstrate there's a major problem with the testing. Okay? Now, if this Dr. Mike Yeadon is right, and I'm not saying that he is right, I'm just telling you what he said, okay, that will mean that we could have potentially shut down the economy and wrecked everybody's jobs and livelihoods on figures that are wildly inaccurate. I mean, this is unbelievable. And we have the government parroting things like testing will set you free, you know, and all this kind of thing. Because what's going on now is these kind of people like Hancock and the government and, you know, all these people, what they like to do is these predictions now are being parroted as the truth. As the truth. And if you disagree with that, you're a lunatic, you're a crackpot. But yet here we are, we've got experts like Dr. Mike Yeadon, a former scientific advisor to Pfizer, coming out and saying stuff like this. Now, do you understand, people, now why I am telling everybody to start questioning things and start questioning things? Because we're being told things that just aren't adding up here. Okay, and like I've said before, all I'm asking people to do is question things. But one thing I am 100% sure of is we need to make our government, our leaders, our health people answer some serious questions about what the hell has been going on here. Because, you know, every day now, like I've said, every day I get up and I see something and I think, I can't believe I'm watching, or I can't believe I'm reading this. And every day it's happening. So all I'm saying is this is what a former scientific advisor to Pfizer has come out and said today on Ian Collins' show, today on Talk Radio. And I'm going to post that link in the description for all you guys to go out and watch. Okay? So don't take my word for it. Go and listen to what Dr. Mike Yeadon says. This will be in the link in the description. Obviously, I can't share it because it's Talk Radio, because there'll be a copyright infringement, okay? But I can post the link in the description, which is what I'm going to do. So I suggest everybody goes and watches this. Now, you know, so, you know, this is what I'm saying. You know, we have to question this kind of thing, because this, you know, this is what's going on, people. This is what's going on. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then please like the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Once you do, please ring the notification bell so I can, you know, you can get informed of forthcoming videos that I'm going to put out. And trust me, there's a lot more coming. There's a lot more coming, because someone has to speak out, and it looks like not enough people are, so it looks like it's going to fall to someone like me. So be it, okay? But, you know, until I come back, I want everybody out there to take care in this pandemic, okay? I want you to keep safe. I want you to, you know, look after your friends and your family. Until I'm back, stay rock and roll.